Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun with Benzion. Today's daf is Nazir, daf Yudalid, number 14. A lot of interesting things on this daf, a lot of lumdus on this daf. I want to focus on a couple of the halachas that are brought today. Specifically, I want to start off with the end of the Gemara. The bottom of Yudalid is going to the top of Tevah and Aleph, where the Gemara, Rabbi Yosef Bechina makes a statement. Yudalid is about 10 lines from the bottom. Nazir shakol yom of loka ala tumin aloka ala tikalakas about lo ala yayin. He took a Nazirus, a regular Nazirus 30 days. He counted 30 full days, right? According to Rav Machta, 30 full days. And then, right, you don't end your Nazirus officially until you bring the karbanos and you shave your head. According to Belezer, it's ma'akev to shave your head also. According to the Rabbanan, you don't have to shave your head. You bring the karbanos, your Nazirus is over. However, if I didn't bring the Nazirus yet, it's day 31. Or I lagged and I languished and it was day 40 and I haven't brought my kawanas yet and I'm a tamal mesim. Become tummy a corpse tuma, so of course it's not so sorry, your Nazirus. Your Nazirus is over. However, you get malchus, according to Rabbi, but only for tuma. Drinking wine, tamal mesim, you don't. The Gemara discusses what's the source for this. And eventually the Gemara, on the end of the Gemara, on Tedrom and Aleph, before the Mishnah, brings a brisa that it's not just by tumas ames. Even if you drink wine, or even if you get a haircut, you're going to get malchus. Hard to understand. What's the lumdas? What's a svara? Your Nazir is over. 30 days, presumably your Nazir is over. So why are you getting malchus on day 40? If you didn't bring your karbanos, yeah, fine, you did, and you're Nazirus, but why are you getting malchus? Your Nazir is over. The period of Nazir is over. Hard to understand. What is it, like Tosefes Shabbos over here? That Shabbos is still in effect? Most people show them hold Tosefes Shabbos, right? That once Shabbos is over, once Shkia happens on Motzei Shabbos, or one says happens on Motzei Shabbos, you're not going to be chayiv skila or kares anymore for doing malacha. Maybe you violate the Isser mitzvah's essay of Tosefes, right? Wherever we learn Tosefes from. Tosefes Yom Kippur, that's really learn it from. And we learn maybe the Rabbanim made the rise by Shabbos and Yom Tov. But you're definitely not going to get chayiv. The Gemara in Yuma says explicitly, Tosefes Yom Kippur, you don't get chayiv kares if you eat on Tosefes Yom Kippur, before Yom Kippur or after Yom Kippur. You don't get kares for eating or doing malacha after Yom Kippur is over, before Yom Kippur starts technically. So it's not the same status. Here, you're getting the same punishment that you would get through the middle of your Nazirus. You're getting malchus. Oh, that's the punishment for Nazirus. So it's hard to understand. So I'm going to introduce an idea over here, which we talked about a little bit. What is Nazirus? Is Nazirus considered something holy, or is it considered something of Tuma, Kadosh, or Tameh? And I said, basically, there's two different realms of Nazirus. There's Nazirus, which is a Stam Nazirus, 30 days, which is called Kedusha, right? And it's a Nezer, it's a crown on your head. 30 days considered someone who's sanctimonious. He's holier than thou. He's not drinking wine. He's not going to enter a cemetery. He's not going to get hands dirty burying somebody. And he's somebody that's, after 30 days, he's going to get a haircut, right? 30 days, and then I'll get my haircut. I mean, make sure you book my appointment at the barber in 30 days. I'm not going to grow my hair so long. My hair is going to be set. 30 days is considered, a pretty short amount of time for getting your hair done, for getting a haircut, even for a man. And most men don't get a haircut within 30 days. So, and that's really what it is, Kedusha. But then there's the Nazirus, which is a long Nazirus. You take a Nazirus for 10 years. Right, or Nazir Olam or something like that. So, that's degrading and it's disgusting. And the Gemara alludes to that, right, where the Gemara says, as a story, right, where the Nazir, he was a very good-looking guy. We had it earlier in Mesechus Nazir, Mesechus Nadarim, and he became a Nazir because his Yetzer Hara was saying he's good-looking, and he grew his hair very long. And, people who grow their hair very long don't look very good. Men don't look very good with long hair. That's my opinion. I think that most people would say that, especially if you're not Matam Mesim, people are going to look, bad. You're not going to be part of a community over there. You don't want to go to the cemetery to participate in community members' funerals. No one's going to look. And you're someone who's not going to participate in L'chaims when everyone comes on Friday night, the Onik Shabbos. You're not going to L'chaim. You're going to be thrown out of the community. It's disgusting. Not disgusting. It's degrading. It's embarrassing, belittling for a person to take Nazirus. A long Nazirus upon himself. A short Nazirus, a 30-day Nazirus, makes you holier than thou. But, a long Nazirus is kind of degrading for a person. So it's been noted on this daf in other places that, right, I mentioned a couple different times that you have to have at least 30 days of hair growth. For example, That's what the Gemara said. The Gemara on Yudalim and Aleph says that the one case, it had a lot of questions on Yudalim and Aleph. The one case we could answer, if you're taking Nazirus, 100-day Nazirus now, and then after 20 days, I'm starting a Nazirus of 30 days. So we said in that case, you do 20 days in Nazirus of the 100-day Nazirus, then do the 30-day Nazirus. That was your Makabal first. And then you finish 80 days, because 80 days has Gidol Sar, as opposed to the case where if you're Makabal and a regular Nazirus now 30 days, and after 20 days, you start a new Nazirus, so you can't do that. Presuming the Gemara infers you can't do that, because at the end, you cut your hair after 50 days, and then you'll have another 10 days, and you're not going to have a Gidol Sar. You're not going to have 10 days of growth. But if the idea is Kedusha, so if you're holier than now, and I'm looking pristine and looking amazing, getting a haircut every 30 days, it's even better to get a haircut every 10 days. But nonetheless, the Torah, Nazirus requires at least 30 days. So the idea is, I think, it's really a combination of both, that the real Kedusha is being in a situation where it's possible to have Tuma. If there's no possibility of Tuma, then there's no Kedusha. Kedusha means when I have an opportunity to go in the wrong direction, I choose the right direction. So therefore, if there's no 30 days is considered maybe an average amount of time between getting a haircut. So if it's 10 days or whatever, and I choose to go on to 20 days, not get a haircut, I'm not doing anything. But if it's 30 days, if I choose to end my Nazirus right there and then, right, so then I am being Kadosh, I'm being maybe holy or holier than now, I deserve a crown on my head. But if I let it go any longer, then I'm entering the category of being degrading and belittling myself and being sort of disgusting. So that you need that 30-day period is essential. You need 30 days of Gidol Pera to be in a makom where it's possible to have Tumah, to go on and to end it right there and then. And that's what the Gemara is saying over here, that after 30 days, and you prolong your Nazirus by not bringing your Karbanos, so the Isurim of getting a haircut, of Bibantamal and Mesim, those go into effect, those are still in effect until you end your Nazirus, because the Nazirus really only ends, right, when you end it, when you shave your head, or at least bring the Karbanos, which is a preparation for shaving your head. That's when you're ending your Nazirus. It's about your decision making, right? You're choosing Kedusha over Tumah, and by not choosing and going to a status of Tumah, you're prolonging your Nazirus, and you're entering into a state, right, of Tumah now. And even though on day 40 you decide to bring your Karbanos, but day 38 you were Mtamel Mason, or you drank wine, or you cut your hair, so you violated your Nazirus by not ending it, even though Nazirus technically is only 30 days. 30 days is just the benchmark, because that's the point where you have the ability to make the decision. Do I end my Nazirus and go for the Kedusha, or do I prolong my Nazirus and go for the Tumah? And by not ending your Nazirus, you made that decision, you prolong your Nazirus. Your Nazirus still is in effect. It's just a different type of Nazirus. It's a Nazirus of Tumah now. And therefore, it still applies the Malchus over here. And until you actually end your Nazirus, right? Nazirus is a practical thing. It's a Lamaisidic thing. If you're continuing your Nazirus, you're not getting a haircut, you're not participating in burying people, so your Nazirus is still in effect, therefore you get Malchus. That's the explanation I would like to offer over here, and I think it helps understand the concept of Nazirus a little better. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.